Hello. Hopefully all of you can see me on the stage. And hopefully all of you can see my screen. Is that working?
Yep.
Okay, great. A lot of this is pretty actively under construction right now, so hopefully the demo goes as expected. I'm gonna demo the MCP server again, which is something I demoed last week, and we've done a bit more work kind of on the infrastructure for that in the past week, but it's not quite ready to ship yet. So let's dive into it. So here I have Claude Desktop open, and I have my Omni MCP running, and that has two tools. One is the natural language to Omni query tool, so that'll take something like how many users do I have and turn it into an Omni query, and then this is run Omni query, which will actually run the query. And then I also have an Omni window open here, which will come into the demo later. So let's do a simple one first. Let's just ask Omni how many users I have. And there will be a little error that's going to show up on the right. We can just totally ignore that. So here, Claude is thinking that to answer this question, it needs to use our Omni MCP tool, the natural language query. I'm going to say, yep, I'm going to allow you to do that. It's going to go hit the Omni MCP, which is going to go and hit an Omni server. And here you can see the error that we can just ignore safely. Once it gets the query back from Omni, it's going to then call the second tool from Omni, which is the run Omni query. So the AI decided to use two tools to complete this request for me. Let's take it a step further and do a little bit of multimodality here. So we have just a simple how many users do I have in the initial result set, but in my workbook, I have users by city and count limited to the USA. I have some SQL here. Let's say I want to take a screenshot of this table, and then I want Claude to get this data for me. So get this data for me. And it's going to look at it, determine what data or question that chart is answering. Then it's going to go and call natural language to Omni query. It's going to take a second to translate that picture into an Omni query. You're going to probably see an error again on the right in just a second that we're going to ignore again. Once it gets the Omni query back, it's going to run it.
Gustav, while this is running, how customer facing is this stuff as it stands?
Do you mean like how?
Like, how real is this? Is this like young, not out there, or is this pretty close to like being available to everyone?
I think it's within like 1 to 2 weeks. It would be a good benchmark. I think the big unknown at this point is going to be around infra. So I'm going to sync with
Okay.
Chris Bryan and Ops next week to see how we get this thing deployed. But yeah. So yeah, here it turned that picture that we uploaded into the actual result set. Now let's say we want to take this a step further, and I want to ask how many orders do I have in each state, and then make an interactive dashboard. So I'm asking two questions. One is ask Omni how many orders I have in each state. And then I also want it to bring back a dashboard for me. So it's going to, again, hit the Omni query tool. It's going to come back, and then it's going to run the query. And then you're going to see Claude actually, in a second, build an interactive dashboard in the Claude UI for us. So it's not going to just do the same kind of text response here. It's going to draft up this artifact based on the results that we passed in. So you can see, it's actually importing the results that we got back from our Omni query, which it looks like there's a lot. So it might take a second to build this. So instead of watching that build, I'm going to go to a completed version of this query, which is, you can see how many users do I have, how many users in the top 10 states, make a nice interactive chart. And here's, once it finished thinking, what it came up with. So you can see it had a bar chart here showing, hoverable data, some cards down here. And then after that question, I asked it, can you overlay the population of each state onto this chart? So I can see my order counts relative to the population. And so here it updated the visualization from before to add a little bit more interactivity. So you can see, users ordering per 1,000 people, like per capita in each state. You can see, population, whatever, or I guess per capita population down here as well. So yeah, there's a lot of flexibility here when you get some Omni results, then you ask it to maybe pull some data from the internet. It goes and fetches that data. It dumps it into your interactive chart. You've combined Omni with internet data. So there's a lot of flexibility here when you use the Omni MCP with a tool like Claude, or I think OpenAI is imminently supporting MCP connections in their apps as well. Yeah, so that's I guess where I'll stop for now.
Do we have a line on fixing that ugly error that pops up?
I have it's almost certainly fixable. I don't know if it's fixable in TypeScript. It comes from the model context protocol library, and not handling JSON objects very well when they're passed between
Oh, interesting.
the
I
client.
noticed there was a Zod error. Is that our use of Zod or is that Zod somewhere else?
They're using Zod in their TypeScript library.
Oh, fun.
And
Okay.
so the worst case is I'll have to, instead of using their library to return the query, I'll have to just maybe make like a raw network request or a response and manually package it up instead of using the library to send
Awesome.
it back. So
Thanks.
yeah.